2,
And to
3,
think, we could be
4,
surfing in the
5,
Philippines right now.
2. Ugh, not playing Monopoly.
What happened? What happened? What happened?
You don't get your $200.
Again?
4, 5,
Sushi
6,
beats all,
7,
though.
8.
Sushi beats surfing, don't you think? Travel vlogging. That wonderful format on YouTube that takes people along on incredible journeys through the eyes of travelers who want to share their passion for discovery. In the current environment, with travel restrictions around, our full-time travel journey feels like it's come to a halt. We arrived at the bamboo forest at 6:30 a.m. this morning, and we've probably seen a total of maybe 15, 20 people, and everyone is a local. Today, responsible travel vlogging has taken the form of either doing best of videos.
We're outside of Ryanair. Well, it's hard to find a positive word to say about Ryanair.
Releasing previously unedited content, or catching people up with where they currently are. Depending on how long these travel restrictions last, we will probably hit all three. In today's vlog, we want to get you up to speed on how our World Towning family is dealing with the current state of non-travel as we do our part and socially isolate in Japan. I would be so happy if I saw a Mexican restaurant right now. Hello, long time no see. Well, actually, you saw us 2 weeks ago on the tofu vlog, but we actually haven't shot a proper vlog. We're engaging with you, engaging with each other in, I don't know,
in
2
a long
months.
time. Now,
I think we're probably a bit rusty.
It has been since the last time we did a vlog. We were in a place where we didn't know what life was going to be like today, without question.
Right, because at that point, we thought it was still just a big flu. People wearing masks here, but they always wear masks here. And it wasn't to the extent it is today, 2 months later, where we're isolated, we're baking bread, Will's ordering Amazon packages, we're like unstable.
It really is a totally different life now. And what I want to say is why we're here today is we want to catch you up on what our decision was on, because we're here in Japan, clearly, and why we decided to stay here, what we've been doing since we've stayed here,
How we're doing emotionally.
yeah, and what our plan is going forward.
Let's kind of rewind to, when was it? March 20th?
March 20th, 2020.
You're dating it the year, because this is going to be found like in an underground cave one day, and they're going to be like, what year was it? Oh my God, I love that about you.
Well, the kids are going to look at this one day and say, you know, how was life back then?
Right.
But on March 20th, 2020, the State Department and the Japanese Embassy of the United States said, or the United States Embassy in Japan. Came out and they said...
they sent an email.
They sent out a notice which had a rippling effect through our entire psyche.
Right.
Because it left us with the decision that we never had to make before in our life.
I think because, you know, we're used to making crazy decisions and kind of making things on the fly and things being a bit dramatic and stressful. But this had a word that is like a word no traveler ever, full-time traveler wants to hear. It said, if you do not go back to your home country in the next, I don't know, week, you need to be prepared to stay here. Say the word.
Indefinitely.
Indefinitely.
And this is a word that we cannot
That
fathom.
means forever. That means like staying in one spot forever. Like that doesn't even ever cross our mind.
So we had a lot to think about. And of course, because we are documenters of our own life, I immediately walked outside, grabbed the camera, and started talking about it.
Will took to the streets. He's like, indefinitely? So Will's taken to the streets with the camera. I'm on the computer going, okay, I know what indefinitely means, but what is the technical definition?
So in light of what's happening now in Tokyo with the potential shutdown, the whole lockdown of the area, in light of that, look at this. I'm walking around, the streets are empty now. This is a neighborhood, so fine, you know, it's a weekday afternoon, people are probably at work. There's not a lot going on. There's these guys over here, they're working on their construction project. But essentially it's very quiet, very dormant. It's a very, I don't know, it sounds like the country's already on lockdown for the most part. But all that being said, I have to go now and get provisions. I'm gonna get cash. I'm not looking for a global sort of attack on ATMs, but I want to have at least a decent amount stashed up just in case. You know, we're going to be here in Japan for, I guess, as long as necessary. We're not looking to go back to home per se, which at this point the question becomes, is that home number one, which is our natural home, our passport home, which is the United States? Home number two, which is France, where we've spent the majority of our time in the last couple of years? Or is it home number three, where essentially it's been, well, it would have been lemonade, but that's now sold. So it's wherever we sort of rest our feet at that point, which quite frankly is right here right now. So we have a good setup here where we're at, and we're just gonna hunker down, and as long as it's necessary for us to be here, we'll stick around here. I hope, Japan, I hope you allow us to stay. You know, visas are, I don't know if those are sort of arbitrary things at this point, but nevertheless. So clearly we didn't go home. And,
surprise!
Well, and the idea is that, I mean, listen, our first go-to in everything is trying to be responsible parents, trying to be responsible adults in this whole life of ours. And, you know, we've come to the conclusion in all things in this life is that if we put our heads down and we realize, you know, besides just jumping and moving, that we have alternatives to just going back to our home country.
Yeah, I think,
there's things we can do.
I mean, if we had gone back to the United States every time we had a crisis or something was going on, we would have been home. We wouldn't be traveling because there've been so many crises along the way. But for us, it didn't feel like the right choice and the most comfortable place to be, not because we're against our country, but we've been traveling for 6 years now.
Right, we've made a life of basically surviving and doing all that we need to do with the resources we have outside the US, and we thought this was going to be no different.
And I think for us, it sounds so kind of cliche and cheesy, but we feel at home in the world. So for us to pause right where we are feels very natural because that's what we've always done during a crisis. For us to all of a sudden go back to the United States, first of all, that would freak our kids out because they would really think, oh my gosh, the hell is going on?
We're going to have better food? Our kids.
But you think about it, we've been robbed, we've had our RV had a fire, we've had so many other things I can't even mention. Some of them I mentally blocked out, and we've never gone back to the United States. So if we did go back now, I think it would scare the kids. I think they would worry like, wow, this must be really bad if they're going back. So we just pause right where we are and just roll with it because that's kind of how we do it.
Right. So the healthcare's fine here.
Yep.
The social situation is 100% fine here.
And 2 months later, what do you feel?
I still think that this is the right place to be.
I think so too.
I think that groceries are another story in this country.
Oh my God.
However, and this is sort of part of the story, is that when we realized that we had to stick around for longer than what we anticipated, we had to make some serious grocery runs. And so sort of what we did immediately following was that we all hopped onto the bus.
Right, because we were seeing all of you guys were sharing stuff about there's no toilet paper, there's no nothing, and we're like, we have plenty of it. But then we started to get a little panic. We're like, okay, we need oatmeal, we need curry, we need rice, we need to stock up if this is gonna get serious.
So we've been advised as of like tomorrow that some of the larger areas of Japan, including Osaka, which is right next to us, and Tokyo and some other larger areas, that starting tomorrow, they're going on lockdown. So we think it's only just a matter of time until it comes our way. So we're gonna go ahead and hit the stores just a little bit.
All right, 10 kilograms or 5 kilograms of rice? I think 10 is too much. We will not be able to go to the bathroom for a month. Let's get 5.
10 kilograms?
We'll definitely be locked down if that's the case. Avalon, what's the thing that you think that we need most for a lockdown?
Melon soda and bubble tea.
Google Translate, does that work?
We'll see.
What are you getting, Laura? That's a lot of seaweed.
I know.
How much ramen? That's not ramen.
That's not ramen, it's curry. Oh, look at that. Don't worry, I got it, Will.
There you go. You're doing a great job. Someone's got to record this.
We're stocking up on things because we hear lockdown is coming. And normally we make everything from scratch, but we're on a budget and this is the discount store, so we're filling up.
Drag race.
Oh my gosh. And Avalon, look. Cookie.
Anywhere else I'd be okay with it, but there are like a million people around and you're giving me Cookie Monster cookies.
But it's Cookie.
See, it's for Cookie. That's good enough for me.
We realize if we're gonna lock down for a month, we're not buying much more than for a week.
Right?
We've got problems
This will
here.
all be gone by next week.
So as life was happening, there was like a deluge of news that came through. There was stuff on Facebook, there was stuff on YouTube, there was stuff on the news app.
People were texting us and emailing us stuff.
The end of the world was happening. And listen, yes, things are really bad around the world. And
Yeah, I don't mean to.
And we do acknowledge the fact that sort of people are not in a good state right now, sort of physically, mentally, the whole nine yards.
We can totally relate. We're taking this serious. We're not joking about it. But I think the point that Will's trying to make here is that it was a plethora of negativity going out there, and that's not good from anyone's mental state, ours included. And we didn't want to be part of that.
Right. And so we had people reach out to us saying, we want more content regarding your life in social isolation.
Yes.
We want more COVID-19 type stuff out there with you guys in sort of just lockdown. And we just said no. We didn't want to do that. It was not part of our MO. This vlog, this channel of ours, is all about our travel journey.
It's about travel journey. It's about positive. It's about showing the realities of it. And COVID is definitely part of this travel life, and we're dealing with it, and it's going to be part of our vlogs, but it's not going to be the focus of our vlogs. Like our goal is not to make people live in more fear and be scared and unhappy. The goal is to come here as a release from all of this. And we are doing this because we recognize it too. We're struggling just like anyone else. Our lifestyle has definitely been compromised, and it's not easy at all.
No, but that leads to the question of what have we been doing? Because clearly there's been a lot that we've been up to. I mean, listen, when you get a chance to go ahead and almost hit the reset button, for 3 months, there's a lot of things that you can get done.
First of all, we started redesigning our World Tanning website. It doesn't reflect our services and kind of our business direction anymore, and it's been driving us crazy for at least a year, but we've never had the time to do it. So we've been biting off that beast, which has been a nightmare.
Today, Jessica is doing her first go at redesigning our website.
I'm going through all stages of grieving. Now I want to cry. And so anyway, that's going to release in the next week or two. And now I'm starting to design a whole website specifically dedicated to our trips. So world-towning voyages. If you don't take that off me. I hate web design. I don't know why anyone would want to be a web developer, a web designer, anyone. To me, that's my personal hell. And I know no one's voyaging right now, but when the doors open up again, I think you guys have been sending us emails saying, we want trips, we're ready to get out, we're going to do back-to-back trips. So it's going to be ready there for you. So those are two big things that we've been doing.
Right. We got our podcast. We've
recorded
a couple episodes of that.
We still got to get that up.
And then
we've been running.
How you guys doing? Welcome to China. Sorry. Japan.
We have literally right here, we have mountains and hiking trails and running trails, which we've never had access to something like that.
Okay.
It's a little slippery. We've been doing a ton of Zoom calls with patrons, with World-Towning Voyages Morocco trip group, with past clients.
It's people coming out of the woodwork going, I finally have time to figure out what's going on with you guys. Oh my gosh.
Also, and the time zones align because everyone's home, right? Normally it's an issue to talk with us wherever we are in the world because the time zones don't align.
But yeah, that's been a lot of fun. And then finally, the kids have been wrapping up school. And so there's a lot of end of school year projects. You got to imagine for our kids, they're homeschooled. So they have not yet had this massive interruption of going from classroom to Zoom calls. And they've always been on Zoom calls.
I think a part of them too is a little bit I don't know, I guess jealous in the sense that everyone else is only having 3 hours of school because their teachers can't figure out the Zoom or whatever, and ours are more just it's just the same as usual for us.
Right.
But they decided, and we all decided together, I guess, that we would really work really hard while we're in isolation. And then once the doors open up, we can just go travel like mad. And so they've accelerated their school program, and they're going to finish early.
Like by next week?
By next week, I know.
Something like that. There's been a lot of cute end of school year projects happening, and we got to record some of them.
I'll give you a hint.
That's really loud. So we are now approaching middle of May, which means, well, Mother's Day is coming soon, but that's not relevant right now, except for it's kind of relevant because Jessica's kind of important. Anyway, what's happening now is as school is wrapping up, I'm probably backlit here. I have no idea. So we're now at the end of the school year and the kids are doing their end of school year projects. And we used to really, I remember when I was in class, I used to always love the end of school year projects because they were like meaningless, right? They were non-graded. Our classes, when I was a kid, it was like square dancing. I know, square dancing. But anyway, in their case, in our kids' class, they have an online Spanish class and they're being taught by their online teacher right now flamenco dancing. Now, we tried flamenco dancing. We didn't try it. We watched it when we were in Spain. It's really hard. They're trying to do it via Zoom. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Ok, hoy vamos a hablar de flamenco.
Entonces, van a hacer un golpe en el piso. ¡Pum! Sí. ¡Oh, God! ¡Oh, encima del otro! Solo debajo. Ok, vamos a practicar todos. Entonces, just march in place. Feet hip distance apart. A little bit of a bend acá. Acá doblen un poquito las rodillas. La carita hacia adelante con orgullo. Y 1, 2, 3, 4, dobles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
This is not your everyday school activity, is it?
Not well. I don't know. Some days, our days are kind of crazy. It just doesn't seem out of the ordinary for me as I'm sitting here working while a flamenco class is going on.
Live entertainment's happening.
Mira fuerte. Está mirando. Desde las torres. Recuerda.
Yay! I think you should do this every day, but our neighbors might get a little weirded out with all the stomping. All right, you ready? All right, Laura, I've got some serious questions for you. How old are you?
Is that thing filming?
It is filming.
Okay, good. How about that one?
Okay, so tell me.
How about that one?
How do you feel about being in isolation and going a little bit slower in our life right now?
We were going pretty fast, and if we hadn't had to stop, we would be in, where would be, Philippines maybe? And we would just be trying to fit in work with play and adventure, and I feel like we would, I feel like this has impacted us in a very good way.
How does it feel to be in Kyoto at this time? Do you feel like you're in Kyoto?
Not really. I do not feel like I'm in Kyoto because we haven't gone into Kyoto in about like, what, maybe 3-4 weeks. And I mean, we're so far out that it's almost like we could be in any Japanese city.
Would you prefer to be here right now or in the US?
Well, I mean, I like both places, but as long as I have a part of the US here or like wherever we would be, it always is like fun. For example, the care package that we got sent to.
And I thought you were gonna say Chipotle. Chipotle or bagels or marshmallows. But you love that care package Auntie sent?
Yeah.
She's a good auntie.
Hi! Ready?
Hey, Auntie!
Marco, stop it! You gotta let me use the knife.
Oh my gosh.
Slowly.
Jelly beans!
One thing out at a time. Jelly beans?
Did you put any padding in here or is this just all just this candy in here?
Dad.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, deodorant. I needed to put some of that.
Seriously?
You were the stinky one.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, look, mayo.
That's boring.
That's my stuff.
This is for me, feet exfoliating peel. I heard this is really good.
Ew.
Oh, look, tampons.
Oh, wow.
Seriously?
Oh, thank goodness, bouillon cubes. Oh my gosh, this is gonna keep us busy for a while.
Ooh, something
What else?
for me.
Something, what does it say? Do not open till your birthday. Ah, a new towel.
All right, hot sauce.
What should we eat first, the bouillon cubes?
Candy corn.
Mine.
Alright, you guys, go enjoy!
Thank you. Happy
Thank you so
birthday.
much.
Auntie.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Happy Easter.
Bye.
I hope all this candy doesn't kill us.
Oh my gosh, we're so
It'll be
good.
Auntie's fault. All right, Avalon, you have been isolated with your lovely, amazing, awesome family for a while now. How are you staying connected to people outside of the four of us?
Mostly through my book club, so hanging out with people around once a week talking about amazing books. Also emails, I have a few pen pals. And social media too. I have that, although I don't use it much. And yeah, that's how I mostly keep up with friends.
And do you feel like this is any different than your regular travel life?
Yes and no. It's different because we we definitely see less people, but not less than we see less people randomly. We don't go outside and see people anymore. We see there's a bug right on the screen. It's crawling around on the lens. It's on the edge now. You see
There
it?
is a bug in there. Take two.
I know you love spending time with your awesome family. What kind of stuff are you doing to fill the time? You must be getting a little tired of being 24/7, right?
Yeah, so what I've been doing to stay alive while hanging out with them is beating their butts at Monopoly. I watched a video online about how to mathematically buy the best properties to beat them, so I've been doing that. Also playing Dungeons and Dragons, and making arts and crafts, and that sort of thing. And I had a great time over Easter, because they don't have Easter eggs here.
Does it make you miss Easter and lemonade?
It was the same. It was just easier to find everything because there was less hiding spots.
Oh, we had different candy.
I guess, yeah. The candy here was really, really good.
So happy Easter, everyone. Today we are celebrating Easter with a ceremonial, well, not ceremonial, just a very self-indulgent donut breakfast.
You chocolate? Okay. Melanie. Whose that was?
So this is how we're self-quarantining and having Easter, by being stuck in a room.
If we do this every weekend, we're gonna be in trouble.
So these are the most expensive donuts we've ever seen in all of our travels.
I don't think they're worth it, but it is Easter, so. It's Easter basket time or Easter cloth time. So Avalon, you have the cherry blossom theme and sushi. And Margot, have you figured out your theme yet?
And somehow Anna and Elsa got in there too.
Yeah, what is this?
I don't know. She just crawled right in there.
It's cool. I didn't think there was a V sound in Japanese.
I think they just made it up.
Oh, haha.
Margot's name is 3 letters. What's yours, Avalon? How many letters is yours?
Mine even has a little letter on it.
Another Easter, another year with no plastic eggs, but we improvised. So look around. There's a lot of stuff to find in special compartments. A banana. There you go.
An empty bag.
You know, someone gets the rocks.
Oh my god!
Ramen.
We've got like 30 ramen stuff.
So what do you guys wind up getting?
Sakura Kit Kats. With like something in them. Wasabi peas, I think. Ramen.
A lot of ramen.
A lot of ramen. And banana chips. What'd you get, Laura?
Everything that Avalon got.
But more.
Nah.
So as we've been walking around here, and I mean, look at this place that we have now. We're in social isolation, which means, in our sake, being in probably the best location that we could ever want to imagine. Listen, social isolation is no joke, and no one wants to go ahead and make fun of it or sort of poke light of it. But for us being here in Japan, having this something that is, I don't know, I can't imagine. Someone was shining their high flashlight on us saying, please give these guys something really good to sort of hang out in, because I can't express how happy I am being in a location like this where we can actually do those projects that we've always wanted to do, but we've always been too busy to do because we're always adventuring and editing and doing school. But this forced social isolation has given us the opportunity to redefine what we really want for ourselves.
Okay, here's what Avalon. It's like happy.
So look at what we have here. Summer, birds are chirping.
I'm still in my sweatshirt, but it is summerish. The birds are chirping, the kids are playing. Well, Avalon is doing chemistry, which makes her quite miserable. Largo's playing Legos. Look at this environment, seriously. I want to be pinched. I'm sitting over here working, and I said to her, look, just look, the windows are open. We've got beauty around us. Like, we could not ask for a better situation right now. And it's bringing me so much joy. After 2.5 years of being like this in the RV, and we enjoyed our time, but after so much time being in there and be so confined to a space to have the freedom and the flow of air and nature around us all the time, it's awesome.
So you're okay with not getting your hair cut?
Yeah, my hair looks pretty bad. All right, $1 million question. When are we going to travel again?
Oh my gosh. Seriously.
You answer that.
That is, I wish I knew the answer to that question. I wish that we can all sort of just put our finger on a calendar date and say, everyone book your tickets, because
Yes.
we're all just getting out there and traveling the world starting next week.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And the answer is we don't know.
For us, we have several factors to consider before we start traveling again or start thinking about it.
We want to make sure that we are, I guess, number one, safe, right? Because the reason why we're not moving is because of safety. And we want to make sure that that continues to stay in place.
That we're safe, and also we're being safe for others, because even though we may not be sick or we may be healthy, there are other people, elderly people or people with pre-existing conditions that we could put at risk if we're traveling when the doors are not open to travel. So that's one thing.
The other thing is our insurance policy is a big issue, because if we start traveling again and there are certain limitations as to when you can travel with our insurance policy, and if there are travel restrictions, then we're not covered.
Right.
So,
and so, as you know, it's not just Will and I, it's the kids. So for us, that's part of our responsibility, is to make sure that we have health insurance as we're traveling. And the final thing is, and we've been talking about this a lot, is when those doors open and we can travel again, are we going to be able to travel in the capacity and the plan that we had for a month at a time in each country in Asia? Or are we going to be quarantined for 2 weeks and then only have 2 weeks to adventure? And is this the direction we still want to go? Or are we going to try and find a different capacity to travel in? And the answer is,
we don't know. We talk about it all the time.
We talk about it. We talk about it all the time.
We do. It's like almost every day of our life that we talk about this. Can you imagine, though, if we were still in France and we still had
RV?
lemonade, and we would be... I've heard of people who are still like stuck in... And you can really use the word stuck in this scenario.
In the RVs.
In RVs at a campground.
You guys are superheroes, because I think even with all of our experience of being in the RV, I don't know if we could have done that. I really don't. It's such a small space, and our savior was like being able to go outside and be able to go and work in coffee shops, and we did a lot more adventures than I can't even imagine.
Listen, you guys are heroes at this point, because you're staying sheltering in place for everyone else.
And I think that's really important that you brought that up, because we have it really good here. We're socially isolating. We're only going to the grocery store and the co-working space and running and hiking. But we're allowed to do that. We can do that any day of the week we want to. And we're fine to do that. Some people have it much worse, much, much worse. And I just want to say a big thank you to everyone out there who's wearing their mask and who's socially isolating and who's following the rules of whatever the country has put in place, because it's a lot of work and it's hard and it's a big responsibility and it's mentally challenging, and you're doing what's right. You're protecting other people. I think that's really, really important. And I can tell you from our standpoint, we're really struggling too. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy. And I don't want to end on a sad note. I think that I think we're coming together as humans and helping. And I think that's really awesome and just amazing. And I'm super hopeful. And I'm talking too much. Cut me off, Will.
Okay. With that, I think we have to end this vlog. We've exhausted the entire wrap up of where we are, where we've been, what we're doing, and where we're going from here.
Yeah.
There will be other vlogs from life here in Kyoto during social isolation, because clearly we're not out of here yet.
Yeah.
So we will share more of what our life does look like on a more sort of storyline level. But until then, we're ending this here. Guys, thanks for hanging out.
Thank you so much.
And for everyone who is doing their part, like she said, you guys are awesome. And if you haven't yet subscribed and you want to see life in social isolation here in Kyoto,
subscribe. Tell your friends.
Mom is freaking out because a special package just came. What's this? Goat cheese?
Sheep.
More
Goat.
cow cheese.
And more. Well, I got you a surprise. Isn't that nice?
So nice
I
of
didn't
you.
have to spend my cheese budget on you,
You did not. You know,
You
we
were
don't
making
have
fun
a
of me.
cheese budget. You know that.
We do now.